So here, which is in NutraSweet, are equal. Sucralose, which is in Splenda. Saccharin, which is in Sweet and Low. Acesulfame K, or ACE K, which is an equal also. It's a combo. Neotame, which you've probably, has anyone heard of neotame? Show of hands. Okay. And then erythritol, which is in Truvia. And so the take-homes I would want you to get from here are, again, you never have to know any structures for any of my lectures. I'm just giving them to make sense. You can see how neotame is a lot like aspartame, right? So first of all, very board testable. What is aspartame? It's basically 2 amino acids. It's this green aspartate and then phenylalanine, and then it also gets degraded into those two plus methanol. Methanol, everyone's like, oh no, you're gonna get blind, right? If you brew hooch, you make methanol instead of ethanol and you can get blind. Aspartame creates very little methanol because you don't have a lot of it. Fruit has methanol, so it's not that big an issue. But people with PKU cannot have aspartame because it has the phenylalanine, right? You guys all know that. So neotame, very much like that, but it has this fatty chain on it, which basically prevents it from being metabolized in the same way. So people with PKU can have neotame, okay? So which of these are metabolized quickly? I was gonna quiz you, but I'm just gonna kind of go through it. So aspartame, that's kind of my artificial sweetener of choice if I'm gonna have one, right? I shouldn't, but I have them. And the reason is because I know it gets broken down into amino acids, which can't be that bad for you. We have them, right? Splenda is very much like sugar up here. It's just a chlorinated version, so it gets metabolized. Saccharin and ACE K are very different. They're not metabolized well, and so I'm showing you things in red that are bad. I'll show you potentially bad and why. Neotame, I have a little why, because if you look up on UpToDate, or it'll say it gets metabolized, but it gets partially metabolized. It doesn't get metabolized in an important way, and it still binds the sweet receptor for a long, long time, and that becomes important, okay? And then Truvia also not metabolized. So this, yes, should be probably red. So what's heat stable? Basically, aspartame's the only one that's not. So if you're gonna brew tea all day, the aspartame can lose sweetness. Neotame is labeled as moderately, but really it's pretty heat stable, you can use it. And then because of that stability, and because we have these receptors, and because we have a microbiome, some of these have been found to hurt our microbiome. So aspartame does not, because it's degraded in its amino acids. Sucralose has been found to it. Saccharin, no. These are little n's. ACE K, no, because maybe they do, but not definitively at all. Neotame, I would put more on the yes side. I'm showing you here where some of them are. And then these last ones show the accepted daily intake, the ADI, and the sweetness multiplier. And so you'll see right away that aspartame, its sweetness multiplier is 200, so 1 gram of that is equal to 200 grams of sugar. But if you look at neotame, which is very similar in structure, it's 10,000 times, okay? So neotame, you can't even buy in grocery stores because you don't add little enough to sweeten your stuff. It's used in processed foods. And I'll show you, I think in the next slide, if I haven't already, yeah, these are all GRAS. These are all labeled generally recognized as safe. And so I'm showing you things now that like this might hurt our gut biome. They're not metabolized quickly. Neotame, it looks like, is not always labeled on things, right? We don't have access and it's just in some stuff, and I've seen stuff that hasn't. Maybe that's wrong that they're not labeling it, but it hasn't been listed there. Okay, and there's a link to a filled out version there. Whoops. All right, we're gonna move on to smell. Any questions about taste? Yeah.
You know where like stevia would fit into that?
I thought I had that. Stevia, I think, is made from is in a version of Truvia. I don't know that trait name. You'll have to look it up. I'm pretty sure, what? Where do I have stevia? I don't see it. Yes, yes. Oh, last summer I had stevia. You can buy that plant. It's like an herb, and you take it off, and it tastes like artificial sweet. I mean, it tastes like sugar. Yeah, so it's easy to put in any drink, mojitos, whatever you want. All right. For example.